Sugar, sugar. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Aqua in the house. What's up, Tanisha? I've been okay. I've been on this, like, I don't know if it's my cold or just the energy, but I was knocked out all weekend. I haven't done anything for a few days, to be honest, on my channel at all. I just now got my personal readings done, which I should have been done a few days ago, but I just was out of there. TKO for a few days. I wake up and then I go back to sleep. Wake up, go back to sleep. Like, I don't know, out of there. Probably is the retrograde. How are you, Bill? I'm okay. What's going on with the energy just in my house? I've had so my main TV in my living room just completely shit out like a week ago, and now the main flat screen I keep in my room away from the twins, that one's not working. Everything's just like, it gave up apparently. I'm like, what the hell? I don't want to buy new TVs. My kids are driving me nuts. So find something. And I was okay with dinosaur TVs for them because they wreck shit, but it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, so my flat screen's done now, so that's how you feel? Like, that's bullshit. Right. I can, but I'm still pissed off because it's going to be on me to replace all this shit, and I don't feel like it at all. It's madness around here, I tell you. So, if I can keep my screen up, I'm going to do some messages for all the signs. Yeah, I've been in my feelings too. I'm going to blame Mercury. Motherfucker. Going back to all that old shit that you don't want to think about, and then you think about it again. And it's weird because I thought I was like in a better place about everything, and then just emotional as fuck. Like, why though? You know? Let it out. Let her breathe. I can't remember what the first sign was. Let me see. I think it was Aquarius. Yeah, so we'll start with Aquarius signs. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. So what are the messages for Aquarius? How does this person feel? What do they want you to know? And the best way forward. See what your messages are. Well, I think someone definitely has love for you, Aquarius. Someone wants you to invest more time maybe into them. Or it could be just about, you know, you investing into a relationship and a partnership, because I feel like someone thinks that maybe things aren't even, you know, maybe they love you, you don't love them. Maybe they're just like, well, if we were to like weigh out the pros and cons and tell the truth, like, where's the love at? You know, like, where is the love, Aquarius? Or like, who do you love? You know, because you're not really talking about it, or maybe you're dealing with a Pisces who isn't, but I feel like somebody feels like you're holding secrets, but in reality, you're just not saying shit, you know? So I feel like you love them too. Or maybe you need to make a decision about who you love or what you want to love or whatever. The message is the 5 of fire. So yeah, they want you to make a decision about all your choices, I think. You come with a lot of drama, Aquarius, apparently. And it's all about love, though. I mean, what's love? What's love got to do with it? You know, because I feel like Aquarius isn't worried about love. Aquarius is on some other shit. But you got a lot of people around you. You got a lot of drama, which I don't think you're paying attention to. But this person you're dealing with might be paying attention to, because the message is make a decision, you know, figure out like what you want to do, like make a final decision about who you want to choose, because they see the other people and they're not too impressed. You know what I'm saying? I think that what they want you to know is that, you know, you make them happy, maybe make them smile. This could be a happy situation. I feel like someone feels like this could be like a really good ending. You know, you guys could be, you know, make money together, whatever the case may be, but it's just at an odd place right now. And the best way forward, I think, would be to move on from someone from your past. Forgive someone. It could be a water sign, and maybe you need to forgive someone that you were married to, maybe someone that, you know, didn't tell you the truth about things. Maybe things weren't even with you guys, but you need to let that go if you're going to deal with someone new, because whoever you're dealing with is like caught on to everything and like totally recognizes that the best way forward would be to forgive someone, move on from whatever old feelings you're still holding on to, because you could be happy, you know, you could have this partnership, but it's like, what's your decision going to be? You got a lot of shit going on and decision about anything, and they want you to make that decision, or they're just like, they're going to leave. So even though they do have love for you. So the message for Libra, how do they feel? What do they want you to know? And the best way forward. Libra, I feel like someone feels like you're stubborn as fuck. They respect you. They want to have respect for you. Thank you, Linda, for the $1.99. I appreciate it. They feel like you didn't even see them. They were right in front of your face. They feel like you're not seeing something in a situation because you're being too stubborn. Maybe this could be their energy, but someone wants to take this leap of faith, but it's like, who's being stubborn? Like, who's like, I'm not going to jump first, you jump first. But it's like, why can't it be like, if you jump, I jump, if you guys both want this? Because y'all are both like, wait, are you going to do this? Are you going to jump? Like, boy, bye. You don't boss up and balance your shit out, make a decision, you know? I feel like there's a water sign for some of you guys. There could be an Aries, there could be a Leo, because I see the lion, or it could be a Taurus. Either way, like, somebody cares a lot about you, but they're just not telling you, you know? I feel like they're so trying to be this macho fatherly figure and this, you know, person that is just highly respectable, that they forgot about the partner. Like, the fuck, you know? I wanted you to be solid. I didn't want you to be for everybody, you know? Hi, Marilyn. Someone just wants you to be someone that they can depend on. Someone wants you to kind of take the lead here and kind of like move with intention. Like, yes, bitch, I want you. Like Pikachu, I choose you, you know, because I feel like someone definitely got their heart broken in this situation. Somebody didn't really make a decision. No, Scorpio hasn't been read yet. I'm on air signs. So I feel like the message and what they want you to know is that, you know, I feel like someone feels like this is the path they want to be on. They see progress in the situation. They see this being a really good outcome. But at the same time, it's like there has to be a turning point, and someone just really hasn't made this decision, you know, instead of figuring out how to move it forward. You guys are just sitting in this stalemate, and you're like, things kind of are falling apart and you're not really sure which way to go. Thank you, Marilyn, for the $1. I appreciate it. What they want you to know is that, you know, they feel like everything's on them. Like they have to carry all this shit and like they're handling their shit. I think that that's important too. You know, they might have a lot on their shoulders, but they can take it. You know, this isn't something that is going to like totally fuck up their life because they know how to handle stress. But at the same time, it's like they need to know that you choose them in order for this to go forward, you know, because it's like that wheel of fortune's like barely moving and now it's just at a standstill, even though I feel like this is what you both want to do. You know, someone's like, you know, there's a little boy in the window like looking out like, are we leaving? Like what's gonna happen? You know, the best way forward is kind of, you know, try to make a decision and about like, you know, like try to learn things in a different way, try to put time in, like maybe just say you're confused, admit to having a lot of things going on. Maybe you can't commit to one thing right now because you're trying to work on everything at once. You know, maybe just being honest about how you feel, like saying it out loud, what you want to work on, what you're trying to do, because someone just feels like you chose somebody else. Someone feels like you just are off in the woods. But in reality, I feel like this was a totally different situation where somebody got their heart broke and it's like, you've been here the whole time, or they've been here the whole time, even though like you guys could be really happy. Someone's more focused on themselves. And it's more like what you're not saying, or this other person isn't saying, is they're like waiting. They're trying to get their shit together, but they just have a lot going on and they're not really sure how to do that. Someone wants to be independent. Somebody wants to be this solid figure, but they're not very good about talking about their emotions. Let's be honest. They're ice fucking cold when it comes time to say, I love you. You know what I mean? Like, even though they think about you all the time, you know, they're just like mentally conflicted. They got a lot of things going on in their head, kind of going back and forth. I think that someone was in an abusive relationship in the past where like the way that they were talked to, kind of they clam up instead of talk about things. And that might not be relevant to this situation, but there's a reason why they are the way that they are. And it makes shit really complicated, especially when it comes time to talk about what you want to invest in and what you actually want. And I feel like it could be with an earth sign or a fire sign here. It's going to take some patience, Libra. And I feel like this love feeling for them is really new and they're not really sure how to express it. And they kind of need to make a decision on which way to go, you know, because there is a solid ground with like a passionate beginning, but it's like, you know, is this shit to be on, then I'm gonna scream. So Aquarius, Libra, and now we're on Gemini. So Gemini, you had I was gonna say Temperance for some reason, but I came up with the Devil. So balancing some shit out. Someone you might be dealing with, someone who has an addiction, you might be who has some toxic energy, but they're trying to balance, or maybe that's what you need to do, is kind of balance some shit out. These ones wanted to come out, so we'll take them. I think that there's a relationship here, there's a love offer, there's a potential, but at the same time, you know, realizing that you guys are kind of on the right path when it comes to getting to this stable relationship. You just need to get out of your head about it, kind of clear your mind a little bit, realize, you know, that you're kind of going through a transformation with how you think about a lot of things in your life, and it might be really overwhelming for you right now. I think that what they want you to know is that they care a lot about you. They want to tell you how they feel. Maybe they feel like they've tried to tell you, you just really weren't paying attention. They're not very good at expressing how they feel. What they want you to know is that they're going through a lot of things, emotionally, physically. They feel like they have the weight of their world on their shoulders. They need to ask for help. Maybe they see that you are stressed out. Maybe they don't want to stress you out, because if they were to tell you how they feel or like what they're really going through, you leave them alone. Like you wouldn't want anything to do with them. And basically it comes down to they don't really know what they want. It's like they have all this passion and they want to have this like good ending with you because they have like all these strong feelings, but at the same time, they're really dependent on you and they don't want you to be stressed out because they need that kind of help from you, and they don't really want to be that way. They just are because they're not ready. They need to kind of balance their life out, kind of balance some things out. They're just not, they're all over the place. Their feelings, emotions, and they realize that they stress you out because they're unstable and they're confused and they don't want to do that. They're not really lying about how they feel. They just don't want to tell you, like, they kind of need to change their life. They want to change their life, but the way that they're thinking and the way that they're moving isn't really in their highest power right now. They need some help, and it could be medical. I think that someone's going through a lot of things around the home, but at the same time, then there's this energy of someone being really self-centered. So I don't know who that is. The best way forward is realizing that maybe right now, this person needs to kind of pull it together. This person is always going to be here for you. But it's just like you kind of need to pull away from them because there's something that you know about them. There's something that you've noticed, something that you caught on if you were to pay attention to what they're doing. And they know that, or maybe like, what you need to know is that it's okay for you to turn away from this situation right now because this person has some other things going on. And whether or not it's another person, I feel like it's more than one situation, and you know what the truth is. And I don't know what else to say about it other than you know what this is about and you know what to do. I think that whatever direction you wanted to go in, if you feel like you need to kind of defend yourself a little bit and stand tall on which way you want to move, it's okay to be that way because you know which way to go and you know what you want to do. Some of you guys are dealing with a soulmate, and at the same time, maybe it's just the wrong timing because somebody's just not on the same page. And they're kind of like holding back, knowing that they need to walk away, but they're still holding on to this, or you are. So moving on, to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What are the messages for our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? Starting with Taurus, what is the message? What do they want them to know? How do they feel? What do they want them to know, and the best way forward? Someone feels like you are bored, you're disconnected with your feelings. You realize that there could be a lot of growth and expansion in the situation. There could be a baby. There could just be realizing what you're fucking with. But at the same time, you don't seem like you're interested in this right now. They feel like you don't know what to do. And you're not really listening to, you're kind of like floating and you're not really being logical like you normally should be because it feels like you're waiting for something. But at the same time, you're kind of keeping yourself like repetitively stuck about like what beginning you want and what you're going to invest in, even though you're better than that. Like they want you to pay attention. They want you to pay attention to something in your life and think about like, getting a hold of your head and your mind and your thoughts because you know how to do that, but you're not right now. And pay attention. There's something you're not seeing. Someone is lying to you about something. And you know how to take control of this, but at the same time, there's like, you're trying to be patient for something to move in your favor, but it's like, it's only because you don't want to lose it, or this is how this person's acting. But it's like, if it has anything to do with your parents, they might be really influential in your life, but at the same time, like, you can be independent on your own and make your decisions. I don't know. Something has got to be released here, and you need to have some more clarity, and you just don't have it yet. I feel like you're kind of daydreaming and you're not really like moving or doing anything. You're overthinking. That was a mouthful. Jesus. All right. The bottom is a 6 of air, moving away from something, literally a physical move, whether or not it's in your head, whether or not this is knowing that you need to move, relocation away from a water sign, perhaps that's your soulmate. Maybe you want to move towards this person and actually like put the time into them because you've noticed like who they are in your life, but they're kind of being cold right now. And so you're not really sure if you should tell them or talk to them because you're afraid of what they say or that they might choose someone else. The message, what they want you to know is that they want you to make this step. They want you to take this chance. They want you to move towards them, to finally kind of make that choice about which way you want to move and to do it for yourself and no one else. That as far as being patient and reliable, you know who that person is in your life. That maybe it's okay for you to do things on your own, but they want you to actually take a chance on something that you want to do. Of course, it's like they want to be with you, but at the same time, it's like they want you to be happy and they know that you're not. And they want you to understand that there's some things you need to move on from, especially when it comes to commitment issues because of the abuse you've been through. Some of you guys really just need to understand that giving and receiving is a big part in a relationship. And in order to heal this, I think that you need to give something back to the person that as much as they gave you, because that's the only way that this is ever going to grow. Being this person that is financially stable, truly happy with yourself so you can be happy with another person. What they want you to know, wants to get back together with family, but at the same time, they don't know where your head's at because you're spending a lot of time by yourself thinking or recovering or whatever the hell it is that you're doing. So they don't really know how, what they want is that the best way forward for you would be to stabilize yourself, get yourself grounded, releasing some old things in your past, letting go of everything that ever weighed you down, all the things that you just never let go of so that you can be free. And maybe it's on your own, that it's your own. You're happy for yourself, by yourself, even though, this is like an ending that they didn't want to have, with you. They want you to figure out how to understand like yourself and your thoughts and kind of be this logical, that whatever fear you have in your life need to go so that you're able to think more clearly. It's like you're so afraid to change, but you're not paying attention to the things that you could lose in the process. One feels like maybe the best thing for them to do. They don't know if you're ever going to be able to do this on your own, or if you can be the person they need you to be, because it's like you've never really said it out loud, like you never made that decision. Maybe the best way to do that would be to figure it out on your own. And get out of your head, figure out for a long, and it's like this isn't really going anywhere right now, and maybe it's about having the right boundaries and staying strong through everything that you're hit with so that you can be the person that they know that you've always been. So for the sign of Virgo, the message, how they feel, what they want you to know, and the best way forward. Conversation about feelings, thinking about their feelings, or someone's finally had some clarity. They don't want to fight about it. They want to resolve the differences, but someone is very self-centered and their energy is everywhere. And they're stubborn as fuck. I mean, I really feel like someone feels like if you were to make a final decision that you wouldn't choose them because of all their problems. And it's not like they necessarily want you to do that, but the energy that they're in and that they've been in, they understand because their mental state isn't the greatest. And they need to kind of figure out themselves and what they're doing. It has something to do with their parents or just their understanding of their emotions in general. I feel like there could be some legal problems. There could be kind of, someone wants to kind of weigh things out and tell the truth. Someone wants the truth. Someone is trying to be stable. Someone is trying to figure out what makes them happy. And I think that there's something about a loan or maybe help from their kind of legal issues. But then there's still for you, and they're like really overthinking it, even though they know you guys could be happy. The energy that's around you guys right now is the complete opposite. It's sadness and depression, and it's causing a lot of things in their life, or like it didn't really happen. They need medical help. The message and how they feel is that they know that you've always been there for them. They know that you're supportive, you're caring, you're healing. You've been their rock, I think, in more than one occasion. You're very beautiful. They don't want to lose you. They just don't know how to change themselves and their behavior. They wanted to be this Prince Charming for you that they think, but they just aren't very good at commitment, or there's some other things that they went through in their life that caused them disconnected or get bored really easily in a situation where they just don't know what makes them truly happy. They think a lot about their feelings, but they don't express them. They keep it to themselves. What they want you to know is that I think that they are, releasing some things in their life. They know that there needed to be an ending, or that there does need to be an ending to kind of release all this negative energy that they're holding on to, and that they think that you deserve like the world. They think that you could be successful. They think that you are going to be just fine. You are a business person, or just that you would be really good at being your own boss. They see you as like making gains in your life, and if you were to make the decision to move forward, that they would understand and that you will be really successful. The best way forward, I think, is being mindful of whatever kind of toxic behavior that has went on, whatever kind of things that you run away from mentally, whatever kind of things that happen in this situation where there was betrayal or dishonesty or any kind of affair. That's what's keeping the toxic energy in this and kind of keeping someone stuck in their ways. They're not able to move past whatever had happened right now. And they need to they know that they need to leave this situation in order to recover, or that you do. Because the energy is all over the place. And there is a cycle that needs to close out here in order for them to be stable, because they didn't really notice what they were doing. They didn't notice why they were the way that they were until very recently. And I think that they want to have a conversation about this, and they know that you guys have this really good partnership and a lot of attraction, but they keep it to themselves because their mental state isn't the greatest right now, and they could have been you guys could have had a really codependent relationship where someone was really immature with their feelings, especially after a breakup. They're not able to get out of that energy. And they know that things need to kind of end. Capricorn, what is the message that they want them to know? And the best way forward. Whoopsie. I dropped you guys. Capricorn. What do we got going on with their friends? Something is falling apart. Don't borrow money to your friends, because I don't know, something about money and your friends isn't the greatest energy right now. Somebody is kind of lost in this loss and regret. Someone's still dealing with a lot of grief. Maybe someone's trying to release it. Could have to do with their mother, could have to do with the mother of their children. They might need a loan. Or maybe they need to give a loan. I don't know. There's a level of heartbreak here. There's still some kind of depression from this, and someone kind of does need to take some time out to heal, especially if it's dealing with a soulmate, because someone's not really healing. So the bottom is a Two of Water. So you made them really happy. You do make them really happy. This could be a good situation, but someone needs to go through this transformation. Someone needs to change a lot of things about themselves, a lot of things about their behavior, especially when it comes to expressing it, because there was some dishonesty here. There could have been a divorce, there could have been some cheating, lying, whatever, but at the same time, this could just be about how someone chooses to do things differently than the rest, and the way that they think about things is completely different from the rest of the world, and it comes off in a very cold, and it's like they pay attention, you know that they're there, but you don't really understand how they think or why they do shit, and you understand that because this is your other half. This could be your parents that are this way. This is already a relationship that's established, but you're not saying something. You do need to make a decision. Someone does, about how to kind of like move next. You know, what are you going to put your time into, and what are you waiting for? Because someone needs to move on and kind of be a boss of their own. And it's something you already know. This is something that you want to talk to someone about. I think that it's about knowing what it is that you want, going for it, taking on this role, having the clarity, letting go, and making a decision, especially when it involves toxic things that are in your life, making sure you're keeping yourself grounded and not being too dependent on other people. I see that you guys need to move away from a situation, especially one where there was never a decision made, so that you can go after something you want to do. And that involves working together. It involves a job. But you're trying to tame yourself. You're finding your strength. You're trying to take control of the situation, especially when it comes to a soulmate that you're in love with. That could have more than one option or way to go as well. I think that you guys have self-reflected long enough. You know that you need to be stable, especially for children, but you feel like you're stuck in a situation right now because there are some things that you need to deal with, especially when it comes down to being stable. So the message, or how they feel, they care a lot about you. They want to be supportive of you. They will always be supportive of you, but you need to heal from some things. It could be dealing with an Aquarius, but I feel like in order for you guys to kind of come back together in a better way, you need to heal. You need to accept the healing. You might need to heal a relationship with your mother and father, or both. I think that will help your mental state. What they want you to know is that the way that you think about things and the worry and the fear and stuff, you kind of need to balance yourself out a little bit so it doesn't get into a toxic way, because the best way forward would be to figure out what you want to do and to move forward into that. For some of you guys, you're dealing with a fire sign who this is all they want. You're all they want. And they just want you to be this person that you were when they met you, where you were kind of like this courageous, like bold person who moved forward with intention and knew what you wanted, instead of kind of like staying stuck in this position because there's a lesson that you don't want to learn, and it brings up old memories from being a child or something to do with what makes you stable, and it's what you want to see about yourself, and it's preventing a lot of things in your life. Someone who influenced your life and the way that you think about things was very toxic to you. And I see you moving forward in a stable way, but you need to accept that and forgive someone in your life. You do have people that support you. You do have people you can talk to. But it's about changing and standing in your power and like realizing you can make this decision. It's just that you need to see what influenced a lot of things in your life and having the clarity about this and who they really are, you know, and who you can be. But you do need to get rid of some toxic things or people, because it's keeping you unbalanced. And there have been people who have been really controlling of you and very deceptive of you your entire life. And you're just kind of realizing that. And that's what's going to bring about the change. So that was heavy as fuck. We did air signs. We did earth signs. Let's do water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What are the messages for our water signs? Are my people still with me? Stay. I got stuff falling all over the place. Cancer, what is the message? How do they feel? What do they want you to know, and the best way forward? So the bottom is the 9 of air. I feel like there were some definite mental things going on in the past. There was someone who was clinically depressed. There was nightmares. There was anxiety. There was fear. You're coming out of that, though. You're kind of balancing the birds out that have been spinning in your head for a while. And I feel like you're finding a balance. You know, you're figuring it out. And I feel like you kind of know what direction like you want to have this new beginning, because you have passion for something. But this person needs to make a decision. They need to balance their life out, and they need to stop being so fucking with their feelings, because they don't ever talk about it. It's like do they have feelings? Are they going to talk about them? Like, what is this? Or water signs. You need people that can talk about your feelings, and you're dealing with someone who doesn't, because they just don't know. Like, I feel like they get bored really easy. And I feel like this was something that needed to happen in this way. You guys are on the right path, but it does have to be like an equal give and take for this to work. And there does need to be some healing, because you just want this person to invest in you the same way that you've invested in them. And you feel like their attention's always been over here, and you want it to be over here, like on this lane here. The message and what they want you to know is that they didn't really see things the way that they were before. I think they're just now noticing what you've done for them, what you've always been in their life. They know that you've always been there, no matter what you've been through, no matter what they've done. You know, they're probably someone who didn't commit very easily. It could have been one or both of you came from an abusive situation. Some of you guys weren't loved correctly, and no matter what, you've always been this solid ass person in their life. And they were never that person for you. They were always all over the place because they never really knew what they had or knew what they wanted, and they were only about themselves. That they're not very good at talking about things that they think about. They're not very good at expressing themselves. They're trying to have more solution, but they understand that they need to learn something. They needed to learn a lot of lessons that they don't really want to talk about. They don't really want to express. And I don't know if they can be this person that you need them to be, because you just want someone reliable, someone who invests in you, you know, someone who can be this family together. And they're just like, they talk the good talk, but in reality, they've been about themselves, and they've been really greedy. They recognize things about themselves. They've had a lot of clarity, especially with all these moons and energy changing. They're scared that, you know, you don't really need them, that you're going to figure out that you don't need them, and that you're going to go in a different direction. And the best word for this situation is either to begin something with someone else who's been talking to you about how they feel, or like moving past some things, you know, that there is a transition. There is some things that need to be moved on from, whether or not it's with them. It's just like there's a lot of weird ass abusive energy, which I don't think came from this situation necessarily, but there's a reason why this person always holds back and kind of holds on to the wrong things. It's because they're scared, I think, to be I don't know. They're scared of something to do with stability. It's like maybe they're not stable. They don't know how to be stable because they're just kind of like did someone else in their life to be that for them, but they don't know how to be that for you. But they don't want you to leave, even though they understand that they're kind of codependent. They just are really afraid to change anything. They are so used to being this way. And they know that you put a lot of time into them. They know that there's a reason why you always feel like they didn't love you, you know, or they do feel regret for the things that they've done. Maybe they left at a time when it's just like you needed someone and they weren't there for you, and they understand, like, they want you to understand that there was something that they were running from, something that they dealt with, that they're still dealing with. And it's just like they were kind of had a lot of expectations for you, but they didn't really live up to those. And they want to move forward with you, but they need to kind of pay attention to themselves and what they do to other people. Because I feel like they're in the middle of a transformation, or they're transforming into someone who can be, you know, stable and better with their emotions. They're just really mentally conflicted about it right now. And I think that someone's going to come back in a different way and be like someone who's structured. They're just really fucking stubborn and mommy issues. They recognize you're their soulmate. They think about you. You're the person that's, you know, the person that they want, you know, this beautiful person, but they know that they need to change. And with that is releasing some things in their life, and they need to balance and be like, have moderation and self-control, and they need to change a lot of things about them. And they don't know if you can be there, like, for them as much time as it's going to take them to get there. They're fucked up. That's the best way I know how to put that. I don't think their parents were that good of people, or whatever issues they have is really deep rooted, and they, even though they recognize that they're still not really learning and growing in a very fast pace, because they're trying to protect themselves from getting hurt, but at the same time they're hurting other people. You did make them happy though. Yes, I have kids. Pisces. Something about how they grew up and made them kind of me against the world. What is the message? How do they feel? What do they want you to know? And the best way forward. Excuse me. I have 4. I have a 9-year-old son, a 6-year-old daughter, and 2-year-old twin girls, and they drive me batshit crazy, but they're like the only thing that I can for sure say that taught me like true love in this life. And it's crazy, but it's real life. Someone wants to come back, Pisces. Someone from your past. Someone that you broke up with. They want a new beginning after they were kind of all about themselves. I feel like there's something that you notice, something that you will be noticing. The message and how do they feel is that either you or this person is very unhappy with themselves in a situation. They are kind of the kind of person who sleeps around. They're not really emotionally reliable and they know that about themselves. So when it comes down to being committed and being married, they need to tame themselves or some behaviors. I think that what they want you to know is that they're trying to take control of themselves, of the situation. They're finding their strength. They want to be committed. The best way forward, I think, would be to pay attention to whatever toxic behaviors there are in the relationship. There's some addictions. There might be some greed. There's some jealousy, selfishness, just overall dysfunction is the things that need to end. And I think that there's a transformation here, but it's like, can you get past the fact that this person isn't very good at being committed to one person because they're kind of like immature and childlike, and it probably, they're really codependent, but at the same time, they're not really like the person that you could rely on in a relationship, and they realize that, and they know things need to change, but they don't really know how to ask you for help. They do want to apologize, I think, because they gave up or you gave up or someone always gave up on them, and they don't want you to do that. Fucking abandonment issues. There are some pretty big things that need to change here, and it's important to have the right boundaries with people, especially people that are only about themselves. I see a lot of energy around you guys for that, and it might have something to do with who you work with. It might have something to do with an earth sign for some of you. Scorpio, what is the message? How do they feel? What do they want you to know? What is the best way forward? I think that you're dealing with a soulmate. Someone's going through a transformation. Someone is like going through a transition in their life where they're letting go of old things, and letting go and moving on, but at the same time right now they're kind of in a position where they're stuck here because there's something they need to learn. There's some karma that they came into, and so they're just like, they don't really know. For some people it was a divorce, for some people it was heartbreak. There's a reason why somebody left. There was some dishonesty, there is some overthinking, there was an ending that was pretty painful for them. There's a reason why they needed to leave. I think someone's very scared. Someone's very stubborn. Someone has been in and out of your life. Someone has been deceptive. Someone doesn't want to lose whatever version of family that they have, even though it's not a good family situation. I feel like it has something to do with how this person views themselves as a whole, what they were taught, what they want to do now. I think that it has something to do with their family, and it goes back pretty far. The message and for how they feel is that they always run from their feelings. There's something that they need to move on from in their life. It has something to do with how they're able to balance things in their life. For some people, it has something to do with a child. Someone just wants to be a really good father, but they're just not very good at like weighing out everything and kind of being what everyone wants them to be. They're only able to adapt to a situation at a time, and they really want to be this person that's like solid and you know, to be this parent that they never had. And they're trying to master themselves, they're trying to work on themselves, but there's a reason why they had to go away from you, even though you've always been there for them. What they want you to know is that the way that you think about things, the way that you communicate with them, they know that you can be whatever you want to be on your own, that you can have this new start. Maybe they want to come together with you. There could be a pregnancy. Here's something that you don't know about. There is a level of fear and illusion around this. They think maybe they're trying to make a responsible decision, but it's like they're not really able to take control of the situation right now because they don't really love themselves enough to know what it is that they want in life, and they've always kind of been dependent on another person that are dependent on them. They might be in a situation where they're dealing with people that are very emotionally manipulative, so they're really confused and unstable. Someone's definitely dealing with a child, but they're also dealing with a childlike person who's really immature. There's a codependency. There's a lot of things that are factors in this situation, and they're trying to let old things go, but they're all over the place. And the best way forward is the 10 of air with the king of air. So there could be some kind of ending. There could be something that they needed to release. Maybe this is about taking on this energy of thinking about things with more logic than feelings. Moving in whatever direction that you think that you need to move, but doing it with intention. Maybe there's an air sign in your life that's centered and they want you to let them go. They could be them that was all about themselves in the past, and you didn't really know who they were, and they needed to kind of they've been this way for a long time. They're really afraid to change because they don't know how to have the right boundaries with people in their life, so they just kind of shut everyone out. And they realize that they're all about themselves, and they realize that they need to change, but they don't know how to get the correct help with that because they don't know if the fact that they're always kind of in this energy where they're always like moving really fast with passion and in and out and all over the place and like moving around, like they're not really one of those people who settles down, if that is going to change. even though there's a part of them that's attached to you. There's a reason why there was an offer or an opportunity. I think they feel like there's some kind of opportunity that they missed with you because of how they are. But it's like, you know the best decision to make in this, and you know, like, what you need to do. And for some of you, that does involve leaving them behind because maybe they can't be the person that you need them to be. Shit. Jesus Christ. Someone is not very good at talking about their feelings. Someone is very disconnected with their feelings. Even though they have passion, it's not really love. It's lust. And there's something about their past they can't really let go of. And there's a breakup or a separation that makes them feel like their emotions are really empty, and it's not like, they can be reliable to a certain extent, but not when it comes to emotions. So it seems like maybe they lied about some things, or they just don't talk about things. Maybe this person's only good at being solid when it comes to money or, you know, making money, but when it comes to feelings and emotions, not so much. Fire sign. Whatever toxic energy was there, though, is kind of something that ended, though, and I think that they're not very good at commitment. Okay, whatever. Could have something to do with their father. I think that maybe they had people in their life that only showed love in a certain way, so they don't really know how to show emotion. I need a cigarette because that's a little bit too much for me right now. Okay. They're not ready to be what you need them to be. And they're really confused because they were brought up a certain way. There's definitely passion here, but that's about it. And they are trying to work on things. And they're waiting for something, but someone left them, someone didn't love them. So they don't know how to make a decision or how to balance out their thoughts and emotions. So they keep it to themselves. I think that water signs need a fucking 14-day vacation on a beach away from everyone, and for there to be like, you know, that movie Eternal Sunshine where you can go back and erase your memory? Like, that would be sweet if we could just wipe out our memory because the people that we deal with, man, what the fuck? We can never give up on people. That's our problem. Never give up on people. Need a vacation. I would like to erase my memory. I would like to be a different person, kind of like Alzheimer's, but just a different person that has a new outlook and maybe meet some people that aren't completely fucking toxic. That'd be sweet. God bless America. Someone's really stressed out. Someone doesn't know how to handle love. I'm just saying, like, when the hell does the cycle end? Like, I don't know what else there is in my closet exactly as far as skeletons that I need to release so this type of shit doesn't come into my life anymore. But Jesus Christ, there's like, I don't even know. I don't know. What is it? I don't know. Level of disconnect. Like, why do water signs attract people who don't have any emotions? Where's the emotions? People that are about themselves. I think that I've forgiven people. Maybe I haven't. I mean, I slightly feel like we're going to hold a grudge to a point, but at the same time, I have forgiven people. I don't know. Maybe I just need friends to get to know people before I fall hopelessly in love with people that are only about themselves. That'd be fucking sweet. I think that the mental state is changing. You know, we're kind of figuring out what we're doing. But a part of us never really walks away. So we're the ones left feeling scared of whatever comes next. But all we really want is an equal partnership, like two people that love each other the same way at the same time, and something that's structured. Like, I would like that, please, universe. Harmony, balance, fuck anxiety and solitude. I don't know. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. What do we have for you? Jesus. Aries, what the hell? There's a lesson that you need to learn about heartbreak and depression and how you think about it, especially when you're dealing with a soulmate. So the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Air, overthinking things, stuck in your head, kind of isolating yourself. I think the main thing is that maybe you have a lot of things going on and you're not really sure how to commit yourself to everything because you feel like you could be successful in a different way, but you know that at the same time, you guys need to kind of understand that there's some things about yourself that you need to pay attention to. There's some things about a situation that you're putting time into that you need to kind of understand that you don't want to lose something, but you're not really changing something either. And you need to kind of transition out of that. Some of you guys want to move, some of you guys want to travel, but you know that that would mean walking away from someone in your life that you care a lot about and, investing into something new and kind of weighing out the pros and cons. And that would mean that there would be an ending here. And I think that you kind of already emotionally checked out, but it's like you're not really telling this other person how you feel. Maybe you tried to, but you feel like they're not listening to you. You're trying to be solid. You're trying to be this person that you think that they want you to be. But in reality, when you think about the future, you don't know if you can wait for them to be on your level because your idea of expansion and theirs is different, and you kind of want to do things your own way. And you're defensive about it because you don't want to get hurt, but there's someone who's kind of very dependent on you in a situation. So the message, what they want you to know is that they're confused. There's something that you guys internalize instead of dealing with. It has something to do with the heartbreak. It has something to do with some type of loss that you've experienced in your life. You don't deal well with heartbreak. You don't deal well with loss. Some of you guys, there was someone who chose someone else. Some of you guys have had someone waiting for you for a very long time. For some of you guys, it's deep-rooted. It goes back to what kind of parents you had, what kind of environment you grew up in, and you're trying to make a decision for your life. And there's something that you need to learn. There's something that's holding you back. There's something that's standing still here because you're still not learning what it is that you need to learn about a situation. And it has a lot to do with how you think about things. It has a lot to do with how you communicate, how you think about things. And if you want things to move forward in a new way, maybe some of you guys want a child. Some of you guys are kind of have this dream about marriage and family with this love and support, but at the same time, there's something that you notice, something that you know about, and you need to tell the truth about, but you're kind of throwing it off to the side and throwing everything into this new career or idea. Maybe some of you guys want to be a student, but there's a reason why things are stalled right now, and you're kind of being dishonest about it. You need to tell the truth to whoever you're with. The best way forward. Some of you guys are living in the past. You have some expectations for what needs to happen, but you're not moving on from something. There's something you need to forgive. There's something that you need to recover from so that you're not going to have regret about leaving things behind. When you try a new thing, you're going to have to face up to the fact that maybe this person doesn't support you in the way that you want to be just supported, and you don't really want to argue about it anymore, but you understand that there is a separation or a breakup here that is causing a lot of things in your life to be disorganized and overwhelming, and you need to tell this person how you truly feel instead of lying about it, because some of you guys think that you're better off on your own. You do things better on your own, and call it maybe arrogant, but you know what to do, and you know you have a plan. You need to be honest about it instead of not talking about it. Leo. I just did Aries. I'm on Leo. Some of you guys want to have a conversation with an air sign about how you feel. Some of you guys are kind of have a fantasy perhaps about a water sign. Some of you guys don't know what the fuck that you want, but you're really stressed out. And you don't, there's something that could be ending, but you're afraid of it because you're not talking about something with someone in your life, and you feel like their focus isn't really on you. Some of you guys are just focusing all your time and money into work. Some of you guys are dealing with someone who's very, when they communicate their feelings, they're really immature, and they're kind of, could have another person, and they're kind of self-centered and self-absorbed, and you put a lot of time into them, or maybe you feel like the things that they put time into been waiting for them, but it's like they've got some addictions or other things going on, and you want to change this direction, but it's a lot of delayed success right now. The message, how do they feel? They have an idea of something that they want to do with their life, and it involves something that is doing things their own way. The way that they view themselves is very childlike. The way that they do things is very childlike. There's something that they wanted to do as a child, something that they wanted. Maybe they're not very good at money. Maybe they're not good at expressing their feelings. Someone does want to put time into this. Someone does kind of want to begin this in a new way, kind of work together, manifest together with you. And it could be a lot of abundance coming for you guys, but you're doing it on your own. What do they want you to know? They're not very good at expressing their emotions. They might have some children. There might be a baby involved. But whatever it is very childlike. The situation, how they do things is kind of childlike. And they're kind of codependent. And they're not very balanced right now. So things are kind of stuck. And you're doubting yourself, Leo, and you shouldn't be. Because you're not the one that's doing anything wrong, per se. You're just blaming it on yourself. Blaming it on you. Because of how they communicate. And the best way forward would be to have a conversation, would be to think about things in a new way, see things for what they are, the truth, and that you guys are kind of dealing with someone, or maybe you're the kind of person who wants to kind of move around and not really settle down right now because there's some things that you need to learn or they need to learn. But it's like you need to kind of make a choice about which way that you want to move forward. And they're stalled right now because there's some things that are changing. Someone's definitely changing. There's some things that are kind of coming to a halt. It might have something to do with a marriage or a Libra, but I feel like there's a new beginning here. But someone's kind of hermiting a little bit, and they're not really telling you, that they're going to be moving forward. They're moving somewhere, and it involves, going back to school, kind of starting over from the beginning. They're trying to figure out how to change what it is that they invest in, what they work on. You guys have had a lot of good times together. They're very comfortable around you, but there's some things that they're dealing with internally that they need to get rid of, things that they need to balance out. And it might involve, moving away from you or the situation. This person is very cold right now, and there could be someone who needs to see a doctor, especially when it comes to mental health, but someone kind of wants to be single. Someone wants to do things on their own. They're not really telling you how they feel, and they're kind of mentally conflicted about it. I feel like there was a good partnership here, but there's still someone holding on to old feelings of loss and regret. They don't really want to leave you. They feel bad leaving you, but they kind of want to start something new, and that involves leaving you behind and making a decision for themselves. Might be more than one person. Someone has been very chaotic, especially with maybe they're getting rid of the way they used to be, where they didn't really know what they wanted, so they're in and out of your life. But they're not really admitting to what they did, even though they have been kind of manipulative and, keeping it to themselves. Someone does kind of need to release something. It might involve kind of whatever, something to do with structure and like whatever keeps them stable. And I think that someone does need to kind of learn things, see things in a different way so things can move forward. But that involves kind of telling the truth and weighing things out, going within, seeing, whatever behaviors you have inside of you that maybe you could work on and kind of see the truth in. Could be dealing with a Virgo, but it's more about taking control and loving yourself, having the confidence to kind of move your life forward and find the partnership that you want for your life. because someone's not ready to. There's some toxic shit around someone in your life, and they're not who you think they are, and they might be leaving. Or they already did, and they're kind of hastily doing so, and it might cause you a state of depression that you might need to pay attention to. Someone's kind of lying about what they're doing. Someone isn't stable, and don't blame yourself for that, because they're kind of being manipulative, and I think that they want to go somewhere, maybe with a water sign, or maybe they wanted to tell you that you guys kind of need some time. There's some kind of lesson that they needed to learn. You've been everything that anyone would want. It's not really your fault if there is a breakup or any kind of depression. You've been really good to them. They're the ones that have issues. And I think someone else is going to be telling you something. It could be a earth sign about their intentions or what they're really doing. Pay attention. All right. Sagittarius. What are the messages for the sign of Sagittarius? Somebody's really stressed out and kind of keeping it to themselves, and there's someone in their life they don't want to lose, but that involves a change. Good Lord. All right. So the bottom is the messenger of fire. You could be dealing with a fire sign. This could be your energy. You want to know, oh, messenger of earth, excuse me. So you guys could be dealing with an earth sign who has some issues with toxic things, toxic behaviors, toxic whatever. And you put a lot of time into them. And you know that now. And you know that in order for your life to move forward. Okay, so what they want you to know is that they want to tell you the truth about something that happened. There could be someone else telling you the truth, could be an air sign, but I feel like things are going the way that they're supposed to go. There is kind of the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, but at the same time, there's someone who left or is leaving or something you need to move on from. It could be someone who really couldn't commit to you because of whatever addictions that they had, someone who's kind of in your life about themselves. I think that you've seen this for what it is. You're not really able to fully walk away from this, but you do have clarity. What they want you to know is that they aren't very good with their emotions. They might have a lot of options. They might not know what to do or choose or put time into. They aren't very good at committing to one person. Their emotions are pretty cold, even though they've thought a lot about this. And I think that they're trying to think and make a choice. They're not really able to right now. And the best way forward would be to kind of go back and take a look at how this person has always been in your life, how they do things. And it usually comes back to the same point, which is that they only know how to do things for themselves at certain times. And to tell them how you truly feel, or maybe have them tell you how they feel, but understand that the way that they communicate is kind of like childlike, and they're not very good at emotional things. They're not very good at doing anything other than kind of trying to be stable, but it involves like making money or being reliable. But when it comes to emotions, they're really only able to focus on themselves, and they know that they've caused a lot of things in your life to be upside down, and they kind of realize some things about themselves. This person's trying to kind of take back control of themselves in their life. kind of clear their head out a little bit and make a decision. Some of them could be married to you or someone else. There's a soulmate situation here where they're really happy, but they're not really able to talk about the truth of the story. Is that there was another person, there was another baby born possibly. There is something that they need to learn and they're not learning it very well because in order for them to go within and take a look at themselves, they'd have to see how toxic they truly are. And they don't want to learn that lesson about themselves yet, even though they kind of are spending a lot of time on their own. I think that they're very stubborn and stuck in their ways, but they're trying to kind of take back control and, find happiness, whatever that might be. They're trying to kind of have this new beginning, whether or not it's with you, I can't tell. Invest in the right things. They might have more than one option of what that could be. I feel like someone is trying to work on whatever stresses them out, on whatever burdens they have, and they're trying to stabilize themselves, but they're still not really balancing their life out, and their toxic stuff is not fully released, even though I feel like they are releasing it to the point where they can. They need to see something about themselves. They need to see something that's in front of their face. And it might have something to do with their mother, it might have something to do with themselves. Influential thing that has been in their life. They need to figure out what they're not seeing and what's kind of holding them back, and what they truly want to do, and how they want to move forward. I think that they care a lot about you to the extent that they're able to care. They're just not very good at expressing themselves, and they could be dealing with someone who pays a lot of attention to their life. They're trying to move away from a toxic person in their life. They've seen someone in their life for what they are. Separation, maybe in a marriage. They know that partnership, what the true meaning of partnership is, and I think that you've always been there for them and been really helpful, but they know that there's a cycle that needs to end here. I think that there's an ending to the manipulative behavior, and there's like a solid ground to start on in the future when all these things change in a relationship. But right now, the state that they're in, they need to get themselves like better mentally, physically, and kind of get out of this fantasy state and start working on themselves in the situation. And that involves moving away from someone, and it could be moving away from a child, and they don't want to do that. They don't want this divorce because it's hard for them to be independent, I think, and they kind of feel like someone betrayed them. So someone they were dependent on, maybe, or there's just kind of like they're in denial about some things in their life, and they feel like they're trying to make things right, but things are kind of stalling out, so they're really frustrated, and they're really stubborn and confused. I think that they just want to be a good parent at the end of the day. But there's like a new love offer here for them, and they're trying to kind of make a choice about it so that it can be even, and they know that there's some things that they need to kind of go through on their own and kind of balance out their life, you or them, and kind of not be so stressed out, to move into new energy where you're happy and kind of like that you didn't completely waste your time. Suck. Maybe there's someone that's going to be coming in and offering you guys a love offer. Could be with a water sign, but I feel like there's something definitely in motion here. And they could be leaving a situation to come back and offer you love. I would just be aware of who they truly are and what they probably need to do to be the person you want them to be, because someone kind of always helped the other one a little bit more than vice versa, you know what I'm saying? And you need someone that's reliable and is there for you in the same way you're there for them. And you can pretty much have whoever you want. So it's about kind of figuring that out and keeping the right boundaries with whoever comes into your life. Did y'all get all that? An hour and 26 minutes later. Fuck. Well, I think that your Pisces is definitely coming back, but your Pisces got some fucking issues. They're trying to make things right, though. It's hard for them to change. They're kind of hastily changing their ways, even though they are. It's just going to take a lot of patience. Hi, KB. I think that they've had some clarity about what they want, and they've kind of seen things on a different light, and they know that there's some healing that needs to happen here. So you deserve someone who cares about you just as much as you care about them. Bottom line. If you want to be happy and have the marriage with family, then get it, damn it. You know? I think that someone wasn't ready in the past, and there were some things they need to work out, and that's why they needed to leave. But I think that things are changing. No problem. I think that there was a reason why I was kind of knocked days. I couldn't have done a reading if I wanted to. But if you've noticed, what I've noticed personally in this journey and retrograde and all this stuff, it really goes back to revert your mind back to yourself, how you were raised, the things you were subjected to with your parents, your version of happiness, your version of partnership, and what done to you subconsciously, and what kind of people have came into your life. And then if you know your partner's situation and what they've been through, it's been a lot of shit to learn and a lot of things to pay attention to. But at the same time, like, we really do subconsciously bring things into our life that has happened to us, maybe that we didn't necessarily want, but they, figuring out what we're bringing into our lives so that we can bring the right things in. And for me, it's figuring out what it is that I truly want and desire, But it's crazy how so many things come back to how we grew up and what we went through, and the complete opposite of what we truly want sometimes comes into our life, and then we're like, we try to be what we want someone else to be, but that doesn't really change who they are and what they can be. It's fucking complicated. But if you think about why things didn't really work out, why there were blocks in the way, why things were stalled out, is for a reason, because maybe these people weren't meant to be in your life at this time until they could change and come and be who you deserve, It's kind of been a delayed success situation. You know what it could be, but it doesn't change a lot of underlying factors of who you are, what you think, and exactly who they are, what they think, and what they do, No amounts of overthinking can change another person's actions or can be what your version of happy is, because that's what you want or you want them to be. Sometimes people just can't be that way because they've been through a lot of things too. So when it comes down to partnership and loving people where they're at, it's like, fuck, man, I've loved some pretty fucked up ass people, okay? I'm like the queen of attracting narcissists. It has something to do with who we can be on our own, and what we were like, what kind of relationships we've been in, and kind of having the clarity about that, but then being what we need and kind of not settling for anything less than that, because the universe has gave everybody a 1-2 like directly into the face of people who do genuinely want to change for their life. Along with that came a big ass fucking wake up call, and it's like, there's a lot of things that come with that. I don't know if I have a narcissistic parent or not. My parents are fucked. I didn't really live with them, so I think my dad has some qualities. I think that my mom has some qualities. I think that I have some toxic qualities as well, because otherwise, why would I bring that out of the person that I'm with? So I can't blame the other person, you know, shit, I got some fucking issues too, you know? But I've never been someone who's only worried about myself. I've always been worried about other people too, like, you know, but I think that's where I fucked up at, is that I should have had a very clear understanding of what I wanted and what I needed and what I put up with, because things kind of got a little hazy after a while, you know, like a lot of heartbreak and loss because of how I was brought up or what I believe in. I don't think that I'm necessarily anything like my parents, but I know that when you deal with someone and you bring out their shadow side, and it's like parts of yourself that you can't stand. So there's a reason why I'm bringing it out of them, because I'm like that too, to a certain extent, or I have been, you know, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want to build that foundation for my children, but I don't want my children to have to go through everything that I went through either. Like, fuck. You know, I want them to know what they want and who they are and who they're not going to be in a relationship ahead of time. You know, have a clear understanding of what you're not going to put up with and walk away from it, because I was never good at that. I think that's something we're not really taught. Are we ever taught to walk away? Are we taught how to lay things down and let them lie? Or are we taught to work on things and try to make it work because that's what makes us happy? That it's okay for people to come in and out of our lives, that it's okay for people to go on their own and learn what they need to learn. You know, I just tell my kids, pray for them. They've got some things going on. All you can do is pray for them. And it's just like, I would rather have learned that, like, I'm 33, so probably like 10 years ago, you know, what, before I had my son, what kind of people, you know, but what kind of mental issues I was dealing with, what kind of mental issues I had, acceptance overall for myself, other people, not being so scared to change or lose people. That some of us were loved, some of us weren't loved, some of us deal with people who don't know how to love anyone else because they never loved themselves, and their version of what they could do for me, regardless of what I think that they could do, is different. And I had to accept that, because no matter what I think about it or what I know or what I want it to be, it doesn't change the fact that some people are just not able to be that. And that has to be okay to some extent, you know? Figuring out what makes us happy first so that someone else can make us happy, instead of having a vision and then like not letting people, not really living up to that. That's a big one too for me. So soul searching is a journey that doesn't, you know, you learn and you kind of adapt and you know what you need to change, but the process of that and how long you're willing to wait for that, and wonder sometimes if people can truly change themselves, or, you know, are they going to realize, better to just move on and hope that you don't bring that same shit into your life over and over, because I did for a long time. But I was confused about it as well. And I need to go back in and do timestamps. God bless America. I think it would just be important to know the things that we're dealing with, because a lot of times we don't know shit. Nobody's perfect, but the true intentions of other people would be cool. Like, show me the man facts, like, will not commit, does like other people, does, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that there's better things. Exactly. Yeah, I've gotten my ass handed to me as well because I put up with it and I knew better too. But I just don't. I think that's my biggest thing is I don't like people to give up or move on. Can I sense it with people that I love? I think that I have always had intuition on point. I've known things that I didn't really understand how that I knew. I knew the things that people did behind my back, but I still gave them the benefit of the doubt. So in a way, I kind of self-sabotaged. In a way, I kind of gave people the opportunity to continue to be a certain way and not really change, even though they would tell me that they would change. I kind of knew in the back of my head the tendencies and the way things had always been. So I don't want to say I accepted it, but I did put up with it. And that's the problem, is that I second guess myself, or I am for some reason super naive to people because I want to see the good. And I needed to change some things about myself, and I needed to see things for what they really were instead of what I wanted them to be. That's the biggest thing for me, that there was a pattern, that there were the same things happening, that there was a karmic cycle, that regardless if this person was my twin flame or not, this was a pretty fucking karmic cycle for me. And no matter how much I want to be with them or whatever, it doesn't change the facts that they might not ever change or decide to be who I want them to be because they don't like the parts of themselves that I bring out. I needed to learn how to trust myself and be completely honest with myself more, and along with that, accept an ending and realize that no matter who you are, you can be under an illusion when you love someone, and you really only see things one way until you kind of, after a while, you're forced to see it in the light that it always was, and you're like, how the fuck did I not know? You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I got a reading done by someone on YouTube, and I've never done that before. I don't usually get readings with people, but I wanted to know. And this lady was like, but you're a tarot reader. And she kept saying that. And she goes, and the universe is getting really sick and tired of people like us not learning our lesson and being who that we know we could be. And she's like, and you don't have to accept my opinion, but this person isn't ready to be who you want them to be, no matter what. And it's causing problems with your health. It's affecting everything in your life. And I'm like, well, God damn it, And she kept saying, but you're a tarot reader, but you're a tarot card reader. You should know that. And I'm like, damn it. Yes, I'm a fucking tarot card reader, but I'm asking you because I'm like second guessing myself, But that, and I got one done by someone who is completely honest, and I didn't want to hear it, but I had to go back and revert to that. That's the illusion I was under, that because I didn't want to lose someone, I put up with so many things and didn't change myself or promote them to change. Like, realize I needed to grow up. I needed to see things. I needed to tell the truth to myself. And I think that's why I'm so honest with other people, because it might hurt, but at the same time, at the age I am now, I would rather know now that I'm doing dumb shit as this other person, what they're truly going through, than continue down the same path and be completely unbalanced and illusion like it'll be okay in the future, and whether or not it will isn't up to us. It's up to free will, that people are going to change, they're going to choose what they want to choose. The universe could say openly and blatantly that this is who you're supposed to be with, this is your other half. But I think that for me, breaking it down into, now I can see why people are the way they are, and it really does come down to how they were raised, the things that they've been through. That's why they are the way they are. But a lot of people don't say that. They're just saying, well, this person's manipulative, this person has someone else. No, it really comes down to this person was emotionally abused as a child, and they don't really know the effect that they have on other people. But at the same time, there were some things that they went through as well to make them who they are. And that's the big piece that people don't tell you, what did they go through? Why are they like this? Because sometimes we just want to understand, like, what is this? Why can't they be this person I want them to be? What happened to them? And for me, it comes down to a lot of parents. A lot of parents need to take responsibility for what they did to their children. Because if you don't ever accept what you've done and like find a way to forgive and move on from that, then you're going to keep bringing that into your life in one way or the other. People don't want to take responsibility. People don't want to see that. And maybe that's where they're at mentally, but that's not where I'm at. Now I see what the true influence is, and it's important for other people to know that too. Because the truth matters, and it has to be the whole truth, not just a branch off of they're with another. There's a third party, or they're lying to you. Sometimes people just don't express how they feel. Some people don't talk about it, and they're lying. They're not telling you the truth. Maybe some people don't know how. Maybe some people have a hard time saying the truth out loud, even though they know, It doesn't mean that they're always lying about shit. It means they don't talk about it. There's a big difference. And it causes a lot of problems, I don't think that everyone on the face of the planet are these evil ass fucking people. I think that people have been through a lot of shit, and they don't necessarily deal with until they get to the point where they're ready. And along the way, they probably do feel bad for the things that they've done to people once they realize it or see the truth, And being a healer has its consequences, because I can heal other people. But when it comes down to healing myself, that's something that took me a long time to want to see or do, I can give people the best advice. I could tell you what you need to know about a situation. When it comes down to telling myself, 33 years later, maybe now I'm finally at that point where I had some toxic issues. I had some things about that I went through, I probably projected things onto other people, and then together it became toxic. Because when you stay in a karmic cycle too long, eventually there's no choice but for it to become more toxic. And it's not just one person, it's both of you guys together creating this, because you're supposed to learn something and you're not learning it. You're trying to make it work. And it's like the more that I spend time reading, I used to have a big long list of readers that I paid attention. I took everything that they said to heart. But now that I'm sitting in the position I'm in, you have to be very careful about the people that you take life advice from and think that it's completely literal to your situation, because it might not be everything you need to know. I pay attention to certain people if you truly know at the end of the day you can trust what they're saying. But I feel like some people have no idea how influential they are on other people, So that's why I'm just like, I hope that the people that listen to me and know I'm fucked up too, you know what I mean? And that there's not always like a complete ending, that there might be, other things that factor in, but it's just like, there is hope, whether or not it comes from yourself or this other person. But understanding the other person is the biggest thing people struggle with. They're not always evil ass people. They're just built a certain way, and that's what we need to know. It's what we need to be told, because the clarity of it all is what matters. Whether or not people learn, you know, that's not up to me, but I need to learn. That's what matters. I think that talking about it helps, Christina. I think that accepting it but not really being okay with it matters. I think that the more you can recognize the cycles that you're in, that also matters. It's about kind of forgiving things in your life that you don't understand. There's going to be a lot of things you need to forgive in yourself. There's going to be some things you need to forgive in other people, and not hold on to the negative aspect. Because if you think about what the spiritual realm of things that we can't see, the types of behaviors that the toxic shit comes in is the depression, it's the fear, it's the obsession, it's the insecurity. A lot of it's fear, a lot of it's addiction, a lot of it's greed. Understanding that that's why certain things are attracted to you into your life, and figuring out a way to release whatever hold something else has on you. And abuse has a lot to do with things that we bring into our life, but it's subconsciously. And for you, I don't think that it is, because you recognize it. There's a difference between being completely oblivious and you're not. So understanding that you've been through a lot of things for whatever reason, and that you need some time to recover and spend some time thinking about it, and calling on the angels who are always around to help you heal, and accepting the healing that comes with it. Figuring out a way to let go of whatever is holding you back in your life, because understanding that you're still here for a reason. There's someone who could learn from you. There's someone that has been through exactly what you have been through, but doesn't have the voice to say it out loud or ask for help. So maybe just understanding that you're ascending yourself just by talking about it, and that you could potentially be really beneficial to other people. Because soulmates heal each other. You know, that's a part of the soulmate journey. You're going to find people where they're going to bring up the things that you don't want to see in yourself. You guys are going to have a lot of common ground to stand on. And there's a lot of healing that happens in a soulmate thing, but understanding that sometimes soulmates aren't meant to be in your life forever. You're meant to learn from them. You're meant to grow. You're meant to ascend. And the things that we've been through don't really define who we can be and who we are. It's a stepping stone along the way to help us bring us where we're supposed to be. And the actions of other people don't ever really go unnoticed. I think we have a hard time accepting it for ourselves because of the damage that it's done. But I think that everyone is living in some type of hell. We're all dealing with our demons. We just deal with it in different ways. That it's never too late to change how you think, how you deal with things, how you heal, and that it's okay to accept the fact that you probably weren't loved the right way, but there's probably people in your life that do and that can, and that you're going to be brought the right people at the right time. And no matter how you grew up, it doesn't really change how your future can go. You know, believing that there's good things coming into your life. The fear of distance. I don't know what you mean. Like emotionally, I started, for most of my life, I worked with in the mental health field, and I think the only reason I was good at it was because my mom was fucked and I could deal with crazy people. But now I'm a mental health practitioner and realizing that mental health is a huge factor in everyone's lives. A lot of people don't get help. A lot of people don't talk about things, but that is a big step to healing. I think that it's normal for someone who has abandonment issues to feel like paranoid when someone gets distant because you don't want them to do that, but sometimes it's their own issues. It's just like that whole relationship dynamic where you recognize a change and you just like you don't want to push them away, but maybe subconsciously you are. I think that's normal, to be honest. I don't think that it's something that is a huge alarm. It's just because of the things that you've been through. That maybe we have to learn to accept the fact that sometimes people are going to leave no matter what we've done or what we've been through, or like how many times, like how much we've tried to make it work, that some people just aren't meant for us and that the right people will be brought to us, and kind of accepting that everything, and there's like a season for everything in our lives, and it's like nothing lasts forever, even the good things. But the same with the bad. Things like heartbreak and loss and depression are very real, and all we can really do is take the steps to try to work on ourselves, get the help that we need for whatever addictions we put in the place of those things. Recognizing that is the biggest step. Professional help is something that isn't, it's like people are scared to do, but there's people that are trained in trauma. There's people that are trained in abuse of children and stuff like that, where they can really truly help you when you're ready to do that. They're beneficial. It's finding the people that meet you where you're at and understand. It's patience. It's like a lot of self-discovery. It's like it takes a lifetime to understand some things, I think, and we're constantly learning and we're constantly growing, and that we all come from fucked up places sometimes. This is not a perfect picture for us, and being okay with that. No one likes to go through heartbreak. No one wants to be without someone that you truly love. But at the same time, knowing that, maybe focusing on the right parts of that, though, that the times that you were happy with this person and the times that you did have maybe someone else has never had before, focusing on that they were there in times that you wanted them or needed them in your life, and now that they're not, it sucks, and it's something that might fuck you up for a while, but at the same time, like, be thankful that you had those feelings, or that you're able to feel that you love someone. Not being too hard on yourself and blaming yourself for the way that you are, because a lot of self-love and taking back control of your life is accepting yourself for what you are so that someone else can too, because we automatically think they're not going to be able to handle this, they're not going to be able to handle me because I'm so fucked up, but at the same time we're all fucked up. People just lie about it better. Shit. That things can get better, that things will get better, that the more you try to stay positive and speak positive into your life, that it'll come back for you. that the good you put out will come back in one way or the other, recognizing that you do have good things, even though you can't see them right now. I think that it took a long time for me to understand that I had a lot of things going in my life and I took a lot of things for granted. And it's not till you start losing them, till you start losing your footing and your balance and your security, you're just like, fuck, maybe I did kind of take shit for granted, you know? Letting yourself feel things is important because the more you internalize it, the more those cycles are going to keep repeating in your life until you find a way to release it. But I think that we all just need to take the time to reflect on ourselves and not necessarily project it on other people. Understand that everybody brings their own fucked up things to a situation, and maybe there's some things that we're not completely ready for, even though we think that we are. You know, maybe we're not completely ready to have what we think we want because we have to do some more work, you know? I think that it's a journey. It's not just things are going to change overnight, you know, because if things are predicted in the cards, you don't know what span of time those things are going to come in. Maybe they're relevant to now, maybe they're relevant to the future. I go back and look at some of my videos from like a year ago and I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of relevant to now. It's where you're at on your journey. And that's a different place for everybody else, you know? Changing the way you think about it though, and what you're accepting. And for me, it has a lot to do with how I think about things, how I process things. Changing myself is the thing that I had to learn, you know, because how can I expect someone else to accept the parts of myself that I don't accept when I really don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason I was angry for so long. There's a reason. It's just like, you know, there's a lot of things that I had to look at dead in the mirror, and I was like, damn it, maybe I'm a fucked up ass version of the, you know? Everybody has a purpose in this life though, you know, figured it out. People are so stubborn, they gotta learn on their own, especially a fucking Scorpio. Huh. We're not gonna listen to shit anybody else says, no matter what you do. And they have to be willing to accept the things that you say, because some people are living in denial. You know, they'd rather live in that because it's comfortable. But knowing that you were there for them at that time, you probably did help them, even though they won't admit it out loud because they're too stubborn. But I'm gonna get off this. I hope everyone has a good night. I have some spots open for a personal reading, so hit me up. Good night.